Press, don't use the F word, because they'll threaten to cancel your card. They did that with me. Our next panel is Media Intervention via Social and Technical Hacking with Nathan Martin and Tyler Nordgren. They are with the Carbon Defense League and Conglomco.
Hi. Hello. Can you hear us? Are these on? Are these on at all? No? Now, yes? Yes? No one's saying anything.
I don't know if they're turned on.
Is this turned on? Yeah. So yeah, thanks for having us. This will be a little different for this conference, and luckily some other friends presented earlier as well. So we're actually two arts collectives, representing two separate arts collectives here, and we're going to present to you one project that we did in collaboration. A lot of our projects tend to involve communications technologies, social hacking, social engineering, and hacking in a very broad sense of the idea of understanding reverse engineering and getting to the core of how systems work and trying to figure out ways to use and manipulate those systems, finding new tactics. In essence, it was talked about earlier, there's a term called tactical media that gets tossed around as new branding of this type of art activism blend of stuff. This project, as I said, was a collaboration between my collective, Carbon Defense League, and the one Tyler's a part of, Conglomco. And Tyler's a little sick today, so I'm going to end up doing a lot of the talking. Really briefly, to get into this, what this is has everyone seen Priceline.com? Yes, you have. This is a ream of Priceline.com that we built. After trying one day to come up with an idea, when we were looking at sort of filtering systems that are in place and trying to find ways to bypass those to distribute real information, we were looking at things like Washington Mutual Bank, using revolutionary advertisement campaigns, the images of Che Guevara. We had these ideas of the revolution, the power of the consumer, the power to name your own price, that have been used now as advertising campaigns, bleeding edge advertising by corporations to sell us things or to make us think that we somehow are involved in a revolution by opening up a checking account that has a no finance charge. So we thought Priceline.com was a good example that we could carry their idea to its extreme and really allow people to name their own price in a way that was sometimes absurd, but already being done with price sticker switching, barcode switching. What we did was created a publicly available database that people could add information to, produced an instructional video, an infomercial that explained how to go out, collect barcodes from what is essentially a publicly available database, store shelves, or your receipt, upload those including sort of name of the item, the product, the place it was purchased, the price, and store those in a database, and as well as search them. You could show, this is a site that, if you copy down the URL, it's live for today, but it's been removed. Go up to the top and search for Walmart.
One word?
It's 2 words, I think. See, what this will do is in real time on the user's screen, generate and display the barcodes for all these items, which you could choose to search for items that are under 99 cents. And then you have these barcodes to generate and print out. We've since went on to produce a file sharing application that changes this information as MIDI files. We can show the first video now as well that we produced that was originally on the site, that was a commercial, an infomercial. It's about 4.5 minutes long.
Do we have volume on here?
Do we have volume on the laptop? Yep, thanks.
When the moon in the 7th house for Jupiter aligns with Mars, peace will guide the planets and love will steer the stars. It's a whole new age of consumer power. Millions of beautiful people have named their own price and saved a load of bread on the things they want and need. Can you dig it? Age of Aquarius. Aquarius.
If you like to save money, you've come to the right place. Our unique process of shared database building based on pre-shopping, recoding, and post-shopping enables you to pay only what you are willing to for the name brand products you want. Here's the inside scoop on how our revolutionary Recode Your Own Price service works. Our customers and community members travel to their local chain stores to collect information about the products their stores carry, when possible noting major brands and their generic equivalents. Using our convenient downloadable data collection sheets, Recode.com customers, such as the one shown here, are able to easily note UPC ID number, name, product packaging, and price. This information can then be easily added to the Recode.com supercomputer to help us build a shared database. The process of adding original item UPCs and prices to Recode.com is known as post-shopping. Post-shopping is critical in building a large database of products for each area of the country, a database which is both ours and yours. It's a simple concept, but replacing a product's original UPC barcode with the code of another, less expensive item sold at the same store enables tremendous savings for you, the customer. Planning your store purchases in advance and logging onto our website, you can engage in the process of pre-shopping. Pre-shopping's value is determined by you, the customer, as you search our database for the prices you want to pay at the stores you plan to shop at. Be sure to take note of packaging materials for each product to make the recording process simpler. Either generate the product barcodes on the fly using our custom barcode generator application, view search results, and cut, copy, and paste resulting barcodes into any graphical layout utility, or find a pre-formatted barcode sheet for a store near you. After locating the codes you want in one of these three ways, simply print your barcodes onto label paper available at most office supply or electronic stores, and cut out your codes in preparation for recoding. In this example, a Recode.com customer locates the cereal he wants to purchase, but which is priced at an exorbitant $3.39. He then locates
Sorry, we had to edit this.
flakes,
It says
which he earlier
Kellogg's.
priced and printed at Recode.com from the convenience
They
of his
tried
own
to come
home.
after us.
He verifies the price of the flakes to be $1.69 as noted on the site. He then simply applies the UPC barcode label over the top of the original UPC label. A simple process and one which will save him $1.70 on this one item alone. We encourage our customers to recode brand name items with generic item codes. Through this process, the customer pays a more reasonable price for what is a quite similar product. It is best to make only slight adjustments, such as these, to avoid the notice of our competitors, the chain stores and the major brands they carry. Checking out is simple. As demonstrated by this customer, many stores even offer self-scanning checkouts. This is, of course, the easiest way to scan your recoded items undetected. In situations where this is not available, cashiers will assist you through their workplace boredom by only listening for a beep as they scan your item, rather than noticing the product name which their register might display. Again, if recording brand name products using their generic equivalents UPC codes, it is likely that the register's product name display will not appear all that different. In this example, both and flakes appear with the word flakes in their name at the register. This helps the cashier to remain focused on the beep rather than the product name as they scan away your savings. Of course, this requires some flexibility on your part, but this is what allows you to save up to 40% on brand name products every day. Our customers agree that the savings and convenience we offer far outweigh any trade-offs, especially when the alternative is to pay up to 40% more for the same thing somewhere else. That's it in a nutshell. If you're ready, give us a try now and see how much you can save. Thanks for using Recode.com, and welcome to a whole new way to save.
So, on the part of the video when you heard the beeping, we had to edit out this video because it was taken off. We had to take it offline later, so it did say Kellogg's Frosted Flakes and a generic equivalent. Better value, but we bleeped out those names for putting it online later, and then this was the edited version of the commercial.
We just forgot to show you the real one right now. I'm sorry.
Yeah.
So the reason it came to that was, so we produced this site, and it started to get popular sort of virally through blogs and things, and then a series of stories appeared, including like Yahoo, front page of Yahoo, and even we can show a clip from CNN Headline News, if you have that. So this stuff, it got popular because only because of one reason. Initially, it just got popular with people who were supposedly using it, but then it got more popular because Walmart decided to issue a cease and desist letter to close down the site, claiming that we were aiding and abetting theft and fraud across state lines, a federal crime with a 10-year mandatory minimum sentence. Walmart's so huge that we learned really quickly that it's really a strange company to deal with because they have a press PR team, which is separate from their legal team. They all issue separate press releases. They all claim separate things, and they don't actually communicate. So when we had a lawyer talking to their legal team on our behalf, their legal team didn't believe their press team, whose PR team was issuing statements that they had arrested people, claiming to have used our service, therefore willing to testify against us and put us in jail for this federal crime of aiding and abetting. And Walmart also did an interesting thing, which I've never heard of before, which was calling Kellogg's and Price Chopper, the grocery store that we shot the video in, which we used a clipboard to do as well. The Price Chopper, Sears, Kellogg's, contacting the FBI, and then the Federal Trade Commission. Walmart then afterwards issuing a press release that they're moving towards RFID tags as quickly as possible, which we all know those are exploitable, thank God. So what we did to this, when we had to remove this website, we were basically, the way it works in the US, and we explained this on the news site that is live right now, which is a ream of Walmart.com, which explains it all, which we were really glad. Priceline wasn't that big of an enemy. It was nice that Walmart, and we all have a personal vendetta with, for taking my parents' land under eminent domain, came after us, so we didn't feel so bad. So this is sort of the site right now. That explains a little bit more about our story or idea of liberating capital, or what's involved with this idea of consumer theft versus corporate theft. We took with this the idea that we needed to show people that actually shoplifting or consumer theft is amounting to a far lower sum than corporate theft is per year, and we have a lot of work to do to liberate capital and to even out that distribution, doing it ourselves, since the courts aren't doing it. So we have sort of our facts and figures and things like that. And we also added up a follow-up video with our spokesperson, Rico Barco, the talking barcode. So this is a little longer, and there's some redundancy because there's clips from the first video and some news clips and things. So you can see the way that, of course, this happens to a lot of projects like this. When the press takes hold of them, it's really easy. As you can see with any person involved in a specialized community, it's really easy to manipulate the presentation of that person via the whatever press campaign is launched. So we did an Emmy award-winning investigative reporter decided to do a story on us, and she's included in here, Priscilla Ress.
Now the world don't move to the beat of just one drum.
This one might need a little more volume.
May not be right for some. A man is born, he's a man.
I'm a very good dancer. Care to tango? Hey boys and girls, I'm Rico Barco, the talking barcode. I'm not afraid of jail because I've been behind bars since I was born. But the real boys and girls who created me don't want to go to jail for a fictional crime. So let me help to explain some of the very simple things about their little project that even a dumb barcode like me can understand. Recode.com never had any malicious or larcenous intent. The kids who made it perpetrated no theft in its production. It's an elaborate satire of Priceline.com, which promotes the notion that a consumer can set the price. It was this notion taken to an extreme. But the UPC symbol has become so powerful that its mere decoding and reproduction has brought on the wrath of multinational corporations down on a couple of kids who spent their afternoon making a funny website. This little episode speaks ill of our freedom of speech, not to mention our national sense of humor. To put into perspective how ridiculous this hubbub is, let's say I announced on my little website that in celebration of our conquests in the Middle East, all sports utility vehicles in the USA were free this week. If you actually went and drove one away from a dealer's lot without asking, could I be liable for your actions? And would the automakers get together and sue me? Unlikely, since thousands of popular movies and TV programs already show us how to steal cars in thousands of different ways, and yet the automakers are dying to have their cars featured in exactly those programs. So what made this website different? Why all the attention? Making it into the evening news confused the kids who made the site, and it even wrinkled my bars a little bit. The fact that people were excited by the website was a success of sorts. And the fact that advertisers were seeking space on the site was the source of intense laughter for the kids. But when it became a mass media spectacle, This was a source of tears for this little barcode. It saddened me because, even as this little Robin Hood story was unfolding, the Sheriff of Nottingham was robbing us all blind. Why is there an interest in this little website when the leaders of our great country are passing a tax cut that gives to the rich and steals from the poor? Why is there an interest in this little website when the leaders of our great country are giving our tax money to corporations that they own to rebuild a country that they used our tax money to destroy? Now that's stealing, and on the largest scale imaginable. So why, when there's this kind of wholesale robbery going on, does anyone care about a website put up by a bunch of kids trying to tell a funny story in the spirit of Robin Hood? Why are we so eager to applaud the Sheriff of Nottingham as he fleeces us? During a brief interview, 2 of the kids that helped Recode happen spoke to an Emmy Award-winning investigative reporter. Since the Recode kids got a little scared and can no longer show you their video on how you can be like Robin Hood, they were excited that this ABC affiliate decided to describe the whole process in detail for you.
News 10 at 6 continues.
News 10 investigates. Until now, they've been anonymous. The men who created a website that has drawn fire from some of the biggest retailers in the entire country.
The website is called Recode.com, where you could go copy, then substitute barcode labels. The creators call it political satire. Priscilla Rest says corporate giants call it stealing.
And I don't think it comes as a big surprise to any of us sitting here. I mean, when it comes to switching barcode labels on its products, corporations aren't laughing. However, the fuss is generating more publicity than these 2 anonymous cyber activists could ever have dreamed of. Anonymous until they agreed to meet with us today.
You might want to search for Walmart, you might want to search for Kmart, you might want to search for crackers, you might want to search for under $5.99.
It took 2 days to create Recode.com.
It's a whole new age of consumer power.
Recode.com is fashioned after Priceline.com. You know, the website where you can go and name your own price?
Millions of beautiful people have named their own price and saved a load of bread on the things they want and need.
Only at Recode you can change the original price with a new barcode. How? Well, during their 5-minute video, you'll see a person armed with a downloadable data collection sheet, writing down barcode information to be entered into Recode's national database where it can be reprinted.
Simply print your barcodes onto label paper available at most office supply or electronic stores and cut out your codes in preparation for recoding. We encourage our customers to recode brand name items with generic item codes.
Price sticker switching has gone on forever. We're not advocating switching price stickers. We're taking such a hilarious approach, and if you watch our video, it's from our perspective, it's understandable that this is humorous.
This joke has apparently been lost on corporate giants like Walmart. April 2nd, Walmart lawyers sent this letter charging Recode with encouraging and facilitating theft and fraud, demanding it immediately shut down.
It's not live anymore. We voluntarily removed it from the web last night.
But Mona Golub from Price Chopper says that's not enough.
It's not only encouraged people to do something illegal, but it's enabled them to do it. So for however long that the information was available to people, the damage was done.
Mona Golub says Price Chopper is investigating, and she says the FBI is investigating along with the Kellogg Corporation. Meanwhile, on Friday, Recode said they had 90,000 hits in 1 hour thanks to the national and international exposure that Recode is getting.
But they're not worried that there's going to be any legal action?
I didn't say they were not worried.
They
I
don't
think they
seem
are
to
a little
be.
bit concerned about what's to come at this point.
Yeah, I don't think the corporation's going to go after their money. They might want a little punishment to set an example.
Just like the example the U.S. and Britain set by killing Iraqi civilians.
Well, you know, it's a possibility.
Certainly a possibility. We have to see how this plays out.
Yeah. Priscilla, thanks.
I even tried my best to videotape the interview as it was happening, but I am small and my camera work wasn't very good. Let's see what I got on tape before the ABC editors took over.
No membership, no fee, no money. No money's involved. No, never. There's no block you put the price of the item you paid, the store you bought it at. It's an inventory, which is legal to have of what you shop for. That's what's the purpose of all of this. I mean, are you guys anarchists?
That wasn't very nice. To explain the process better, I found this expert on TV describing exactly what the Recode kids were trying to get at.
free-swimming fish that swim all over the ocean, and they don't have a particular home. They're just free-swimming in the deep ocean waters, and they're attracted to areas because of temperatures and because of the kind of bait that's available for them to eat.
Okay, and they're also very big fish.
Yeah, they're very big.
Okay, now this gives you guys an idea of the different kind of fish and where they live. Now, I want you to think about their habitats and what it would take. You know, you could hide in the reef. The bottom fish, they could dig down in the sand, don't have a whole lot of way to protect themselves, but these guys, I guess they protect themselves because they're so big, don't they?
That's right.
So you see, it's not hard to understand. CEOs steal from employees. Manufacturers steal from the laborers of the world. The wealthy steal from the poor. And the government steals from you. There is a flaw in the system. Stealing should be wrong. It is wrong, but that doesn't stop it from happening to us every day. Shouldn't we fix this problem? There's nothing wrong with making a profit or running a business. The problem comes when we don't care about the other costs involved. The cost to the land that we drill in. The people whose back are broken manufacturing the cheap goods we buy. And you, our friends that just want an honest wage. The whole world just wants to be free. Well, thanks for listening to me. I only usually get seen on small items, not so much on the real expensive things like planes and tanks and lives. It was nice to hear how everyone feels about these issues. Together we can make a difference and make this world great. So, say whatever you want. It's a free country.
So thanks. There's some funny things about a lot of the people that helped us out with that project, because this occurred in a matter of days. Like, that video was produced overnight with a friend that's here working on the script, and it's always funny to watch. It's like my roommate's voice made it to national television. And I guess we could show, what did we not say that I meant to say?
You wanted to go reflect about it?
You could show the CNN headline news clip. We'll show you one clip that's really funny, that this guy is actually able to make it as an actual newscaster on CNN headline news from Los Angeles. He sort of bumbles through the late night report.
Headline news will return. And a whole different issue. Remember the days before barcodes? If you wanted a discount, you could switch the tag on an item for a cheaper item and hope the clerk just simply didn't notice. There's a new spin on that one. I should probably say there was a new spin on that one. A group of self-described political activists thought it would be cute to make barcodes with instructions on how to print them on the stickers and then make them available on their website, recode.com. Don't start logging on. The site was shut down after Walmart didn't find the humor in what the Recode's creators insisted was satire, not a real way to pay your own price. The creators of the website say they weren't sued by Walmart, but the retail giant's lawyer made clear in a letter that they were in trouble if the site didn't stop. The website's owner says the barcode are legal as instruction manuals. Walmart wasn't buying that at any price. I'm Miguel Marquez, and that's Hotwired for this hour.
So some of you know things like, we learned a lot of interesting rules when we went through this, laws that are in place. Like, you can steal this book, Abby Hoffman's book, and that's legal. If you publish the same information on the internet, it's not, which is amazing. And we also learned that the 9-digit string, not the actual barcode itself, is considered intellectual property owned by whoever administers the UPC. We also found the guy that invented the UPC code, who actually worked for IBM up north, Poughkeepsie. And then, and the reason that we actually pulled down the site, we ended up doing it voluntarily because of the lawsuit threats, was after legal consultation, you find out this in our country, we have this amazing thing where if Walmart sues the two of us, we have to represent ourselves, defend ourselves, pay for all those costs, and even if we win the lawsuit, we still pay our legal fees unless we issue a counter lawsuit and prove that it was a frivolous lawsuit. And we were looking at a minimum, we were talking $20,000 to go to court, and we would never have won a frivolous lawsuit case because, of course, it wasn't frivolous. They're actually supposed to do things like defend their copyright. Kellogg's is supposed to come after us. Otherwise, they can lose their copyright. So that was that project, and this, to put this in context again, this was like March, April of 2003 that we did this project. And there's a new project that I want to show you briefly, if you can pull up the PowerPoint, that is for our corporate presentation, because our audience for this is actually the porn industry. We feel that the porn industry is the one industry that manages to lose a lot from a conservative regime maintaining control of the White House, and one that actually has a lot of money as well. So we just launched on July 4th a website called fthevote.com, which is live. But I'll run through our little corporate presentation. If you know Rock the Vote, right? Everyone knows Rock the Vote that's from the US here, and it's going to get us all to register to vote through rock and roll. And we've since managed to make contact with Rock the Vote after launching Fuck the Vote. So Fuck the Vote is based on this concept that liberals are much hotter than conservatives, and that most conservatives are highly sexually repressed and would benefit greatly from being bedded by one of our hot liberals, one of our hot FTV models. So we feel that we could actually use this to our advantage in the upcoming election by having pledge sheets. You can move to the next page. But let me say how it works. So we have this idea that we need to look good, act sexy, and find where conservatives hang out, which can sometimes be confusing because, unfortunately, a lot of hip youth are confused as being liberal, and they're actually quite conservative. And I'm using these terms liberal and conservative very liberally, so keep in mind that it's... you need to make a connection, and you need to actually begin a conversation. It may not need to be about politics or about the upcoming election. Most likely the person you're about to bed doesn't vote anyway. So it might be easy to get them to cast a vote in favor, the way that you can persuade them. A lot of partners vote as their other partners do, sexual partners, so there's ways to persuade one another. And sex is a great way to do that, and you can do it during sex. You pull out your pledge sheet and ask for a signature, that's all. Or you can do it after sex, but that's not recommended. And then we ask for a copy of the pledge sheet, and for that we'll return to you a Fuck the Vote and fthevote.com condom. We can go to the next slide. I don't know what all is here. So these are some statistics I pulled for this presentation, that everyone actually wants to have sex, and only 15% of adults in America are having half the sex. So what's that mean? 85% are having the other half. 20% of adults. These are actually statistics that come from a really reliable source, from a Rush Limbaugh transcript about why liberal sex laws are destroying our country's morals or something. 1 in 20 adults in America had sex more than 3 times a week. That means 19 haven't. I feel like those 19. I don't know. We might have to do our own poll, but so we're trying to figure that out. We think they sort of hide everywhere. There's politicians, there's ministers, international bankers, they all want to have sex, and some of them can't. We can move on. Even recently, we've seen Jack Ryan has come out because of his divorce filings being public. Jack Ryan, this next hopeful for the presidential seats come up in the future, is now a sexual deviant, and we feel like there's a lot of Republican sexual deviants out there that should be. This is a tactic we feel that cannot be appropriated by the right, because of their moral opposition to such a thing. So even though we feel that deep down they might be into that, or whatever Jack Ryan's thinking there, they can't freely express it. We're going to help them express it through our meetups. We're using meetups, like Howard Dean, to try to get the word out. Go on. Yeah, so you can keep going. We have what we're calling swinger states in the election. And we have just started, so we're here to recruit models. If you think you've got what it takes, we have about 10 models, and one model I won't show her. She's here today in the audience as an FTV model, but we can move on. I know what we all have on here. Actually, if you want to just pull up the website. Yeah, what we're doing is we're planning a bus tour around the Republican National Convention with our van that we're converting with a deployable bed in the back. So that we can show up to swing states or swinger states and really advertise how hot liberals are and how much a conservative could actually benefit from lying down with one of us. This is all. If you go to the website now, you can go to see our models. You can click on models or whatever. It's pretty simple. These are some of our models that are have volunteered to be contacted with an F the Vote email address, and people can volunteer. You can just write in and tell us your information, why you want to be an F the Vote model. You can go to Meetup as well at the top, or we have a MySpace page, which, yeah, I haven't approved. Do we have any messages? We're friends with Rock the Vote, though. Rock the Vote contacted us, and their first email just said, "Good one." And, and then because then I got a contact from a company that handles all their content for wireless devices, who Rock the Vote contacted and wants us to provide content for them, for their wireless device, for their cell phone crap. For this? It's I don't remember. Oh, it's fuckthevote@hacktivist.com, HACTIVIST.com. But you can go to it. You can link to it directly from the fthevote.com website, and go back to the meetup. We can see if there's anything on our message board. Sometimes I haven't looked at this in a few days because I've been at a wedding. But go up. So yeah, see if we have our live avatar chat as well. But see what's on the bulletin board if we have anything interesting. The other thing I should point out that's interesting that we have on the Recode site now is one of the greatest things that we got. There are some messages there. One of the greatest things we got with the Recode site was a lot of email, a lot of hate mail. And like initially when it was on blog sites, you had a lot of people writing in that supported, understood it. And it's something that wasn't quite satire. We said it was, but it wasn't really satire. It can work. And a lot of these projects like this, it's sort of satire, but it's somewhere else too because it can work. So what we did was took all these emails. I don't know, scroll down and see if we can find a good one. There's usually good ones. Like, okay, hey, what's up? Keep on. Find a bad one. The bad ones are great. They normally asked us to go to Cuba or love it or leave it. Boy, where did you boys study economics? Hold on, go up. There was a good one on the... And you can see the amazing, these flooded in all in a matter of like 2 days. Where did you boys study economics? Mr. Rogers' neighborhood. Your antics and rich boy tactics clearly show you must have felt snubbed at daddy's and mommy's country club growing up. Take a Perrier back home and ask James the butler to wash your dick for you. I've never really been in a country club before, but it sounds like fun if James is there. Yeah, those of us who are honest have to pay for your stupidity. I suggest you find something better to do with your time than run your stupid website. You're doing a disservice to consumers. The fact is that Walmart has benefited millions of people by offering products at lower prices. The fact that they use their marketing strength and know how to achieve this is to their credit. Your efforts to hurt them are really misguided. So we've learned that apparently I know nothing of economics, but the people that write us do. And
they're helping the people. That's why they're subject of the largest class action lawsuit in history.
Yeah. There's a lot of hatred out there, you know. I don't know what's going on. We have a question.
Well, sort of a question.
Yeah.
You know, it seems to me you were trying to make a point. Couldn't you pretty much make the same point by doing exactly the same site, but having it printed valid barcodes that look good, but we can't hear your ignorant babbling in the back.
No, okay, I'll repeat it. What he said, it's not. He said that couldn't you accomplish the same thing, the same goal by producing a site that produced false barcodes? The problem with that is we could, however, but I think there's something interesting when you're operating in this gray area, because one of the things that project itself addressed that I liked a lot was intellectual property rights. Was going out and saying, why is it somehow illegal for me to take what's on my cash register receipt and share it with someone else, or what's on the store shelves? And that's what they were essentially saying to us, that UPC ID number was intellectual property. It was a database that we were stealing from them, that we shouldn't have had rights to have or share, which that addressed an issue that I'm personally interested in, that we wouldn't have addressed if we were sharing false information. We would have also been misrepresenting to the wrong audience, because the people that would actually use this site to steal, I don't want to get caught. Our opinion, and it still holds true, is that people that are going to steal will continue to steal, this is not, I mean, the funny thing and the absurdity of Recode.com was that you could do it with a photocopy machine. I mean, it's pretty absurd to generate it with some C code. I mean, it's sort of dumb. Yeah, well, price stickers before barcodes existed. I agree with you. Well, then why was the FBI upset with us? We can ask them. They're probably here. No, I'm trying to. I agree with you exactly. But so we're not saying that it's a new act. But why would this new act, when translated over to a website, one is that there aren't the laws there to protect things that are occurring on the internet, which there are because there's a history with book publishing. I could publish the same. There are books about UPC ID codes that are published. Steal This Book has tons of tactics that you can still use today to rip off people. And Anarchist Cookbook is still published and available. I mean, you can do these things. I mean, I had it in my crappy suburb. We had Anarchist Cookbook when I was 13, and if I can get that, why is this website suddenly FBI information? Why is this? Well, maybe people don't read and they understand that books won't be read. Yes.
Some technical things actually. My handle's Logic.
Oh yeah. Just use the mic, sir.
Is this on? Okay, thanks. My name is Logic. I did the article on barcode tricks.
Okay, right.
Some technical things. If you're going to do it through normal checkout, it is possible to get caught, even though it's not too likely. To do it, if you're going to do it through self-checkout, as you guys mentioned, one issue you got to worry about is weight.
Yeah, with some scanners.
Not Walmart though. Walmart, you don't have to worry about weight.
Home Depot does. We list weight on the.
Actually, but with Walmart, there's actually an option where you can skip baggage, so you don't have to worry about weight. Another thing, another little trick. Actually, I do all my all barcode printing. I would do in Paint.
Okay. Yeah.
I just like it because it's not as easy. You actually got to understand what you're doing.
Yeah.
And one other thing, another way to do things, which I explained, is you can actually take in a pen as long as it's not glossy. And if you're really good, you can actually ink in and widen the lines and turn it into a different code. It's really hard though because there's so many products out there, and just to convert one, it may not be an actual number, and even if you get actual numbers, it may not actually be a real code.
Yeah.
But it is possible, and it's been done with 2 different serial
That's great.
boxes. But yeah.
And this is also something where you use the social hacking. If you are caught, you have to just play dumb.
And also, you can scan a barcode from a phone too. I got a barcode right on here. It's an image, and you can just scan it under there. I'm planning to want to use it as a Fry's VIP card.
That's pretty genius. Awesome. So, I mean, basically, the things that corporations and the FBI and such will learn is that and with this case, we learned that Walmart should have realized that by coming after us, all they did was elevate the story and make it a national headline instead of a local one, which is to their fault. They're going to end up being hurt more by it if they think they're actually hurt by it, because things like this, hacks and exploits, will always exist. But with fthevote.com, it's also something that's perfectly legal. And with these projects, I mean, both of them, at least I assume F the Vote's perfectly legal. We'll find out soon.
Quick question.
There is no money involved.
That's why it's probably legal, exactly.
Yeah.
Quick question. I assume this is like the Capital District. How long did it take for the Walmarts to get the word out to the other Walmarts?
That was pretty fast. We got a scan from a Walmart internal publication that an employee sent us, that Walmart published an article in their internal publication that came out about 2 months later, warning about this. And that's actually on the website as well to look at. I don't know, because we were just talking. So basically the site launched first week of April. Good.
What about Price Chopper?
Price Chopper was the last to get involved that we knew of. We didn't hear about Price Chopper's involvement until the evening news, until that story came out. Because the first was definitely Walmart, and then an employee at Kellogg's was emailing us and then calling us to let us know that his bosses, people that he had never seen before, he was the first person to show it to people at his work, and they were overlooking at his computer, and suddenly people he never saw were watching it over his computer, and basically this reverse class action lawsuit was forming while we were talking to this guy online. And this is all happening in a matter of days. There was a while when we were flustered there and had a lot of friends helping us out with lawyers and such. So yeah, it happened really quick, and it died down really quick. We kept it live. We thought for about 2 or 3 weeks after the cease and desist letter, and then when we finally pulled it down, then we got hate mail from everyone saying that we weren't willing to go to jail for our beliefs and to defend the freedom of barcodes. I was not willing to be jailed for 10 years. No, you're right. But yeah, we should ask more questions, because there's a lot of stuff that's being done like this sort of tactical media stuff. And go ahead.
How do they trace it back to you?
Yeah, this is another interesting. This is the EFF got involved at one point because, and this is dumb on our part. So you should, all you geniuses, understand that this is dumb on our part. So this is registered under a legal name, and then it was hidden through a domain anonymizer, a masking service, a Whois masking service called Domains by Proxy. That company was initially issued the cease and desist letter, not me personally. They contacted us and said, we have this FedEx letter for you from Walmart stores. They FedExed it to us, or they faxed it to us. We read the letter, and they said, what are you going to do about this? And we said, we're not going to do anything about this. And we said, we're not breaking the law. And they said, well, we're going to have to terminate your service. And I said, show us where. Wait 5 minutes. Where we're terminating, why you're terminating our service, what we've broken. Next thing we knew, they had terminated our service and released our information to Walmart without telling us why they had terminated our service. So their idea of being an anonymizer was, it's a false company. If not this, then who does it really anonymize? So the EFF got involved at that point to help.
Couldn't you just hop from host to host?
We could have if we'd have been smart in advance. The problem was this was at that point they had everything because when we did this. This was actually, we were in school at the time, we're not anymore, and it was a spring break thing. It was like, we have a couple weeks, let's do this. It's funny, it's something it's one of those projects that people talk about and you never actually do, but we had a couple weeks, so we did it. We did it actually in a matter of 3 or 4 days, put it online, and then all this stuff happened with it that we weren't planning for. We didn't actually expect, we thought maybe Priceline would get a little pissed and that would be it. You never expected Walmart to get heated about it or to become as big of, we've never dealt personally until then with anything that was that sort of heated. We never had to worry about the FBI knocking on our door that we knew of. But then it came out that also, you have other projects that you've worked on in the past that are now, if they've been done within 7 years. And my particular group had published Game Boy schematics on how to reverse engineer and replace ROM chips in Game Boys and stuff like that. It was done in '98, but it was published in 2000, which meant this was occurring in 2003, which meant we were still punishable because we actually put a book out with another person's voiceover who's now being investigated and now indicted by the FBI who's also an artist who's doing nothing illegal, who was talked about earlier this morning, I believe, the 11 a.m. session, Steve Kurtz, which that's actually linked to the CIEDefenseFund.org. You should look at the persecution of works like this that's starting to happen in our country. They're starting to look at tactical media artists showing up they showed up at the Mass MoCA art exhibit opening of works like this to subpoena people. And they're looking into this as a genre that now needs to be controlled and watched. So, so to the FBI here again, now they know about it too. That was called Child as Participant or Child as Audience. It's published through a publisher called Autonomedia in New York, distributes it, who's also been subpoenaed now to testify, as well as all of their readers. But anyone that's purchased a book from Autonomedia who's in New York, anyone have any more questions? You should all be, there's one. This will be the last one.
So is your database still available?
We should talk privately. And if anyone wants, whoever raises their hand really quick, I have some T-shirts and videos to give you out. Oh, man. Okay, run up here. All right, who's still around? Who didn't get a video?
Hello.
Throw them out to the crowd. Just throw them out.
You have to question. Shirt. Shirt. All right.
Throw them in the air.
All right, ready? I don't want anyone to get hurt.
Hey, can I see the T-shirt?
Please don't hurt your fellow hackers.
All right, who's sticking around? Wait, I have to give one to him. I'm sorry. That's the last one.
This is like when Adbusters drops $1 bills in malls and watches people just go blah.
Hey, thanks, guys.
Thanks.